Welcome to Quick Wins, boosting your SME in 5 minutes a day. This series specially designed for small and medium-sized business owners. Time is a valuable resource, and we understand that every minute counts for you. That's why we are here to bring you concise, actionable insights that you can consume in just 5 minutes. This series is brought to you by Small Business New Zealand and sponsored by BSP Advisory Group. Today's topic: Understanding Succession Leadership with Philip Wicks, Director and Business Advisor with BSP Advisory Group.
So what is succession leadership? Well, succession leadership should be a part of any business during its business life cycle. And it is really around creating the opportunity to grow and to be profitable, to create value within your business, and to create time. Profit, value, time. Time can be more time for the owner to spend on strategy, but it also can be more leisure time, time to get away, time to have holidays, time to be away from the business completely. People often think of succession as something that you think about at exit, but it's something that all business needs to be thinking about all the time. And it does create obviously a lot more opportunity at exit, but it is something that should be thought about almost from day one. So let's look at a couple of examples where perhaps a business owner has not applied succession leadership successfully, and an example where a business owner has over the lifetime of their business, and look at the difference that it can actually make. So here's a little bit of a growth chart of many small businesses in New Zealand. The owner may purchase a business, or a business might start up, and if the business is relatively successful in its first few years, then it will start to grow. And at some stage, the business owner will realise, and it might be around this sort of 400k turnover stage, that they can't do everything, and they'll maybe appoint an admin to look after the accounts and various pieces in the business. And so that will enable the business to carry on growing. And by the time it gets up to here, it might have, a few staff, and is relatively successful. But so many businesses, small businesses in New Zealand, then don't progress. That's where they sort of stay. And they'll stay that way for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Now, they'll have a few ups and downs, but they generally will stay in this area of sort of almost quite stagnant, not really going up and not really going down. And then eventually, as a business owner starts to lose interest in the business will slowly start to decline. And then the business owner will say, well, I've had enough now. I've worked hard for many, many years. I don't really have much of a lifestyle. I might as well sell the business while it's still worth something. And then he'll put the business on the market. So by the sale time, the business owner is still working around 60 hours in the business, has one senior admin, one senior staff member, maybe 2 staff, and revenue per employee at sale of about 120,000. So that is the story of so many businesses. In fact, not all businesses get the opportunity to sell the business, because many of them just end up closing the doors. And this is an example of where succession leadership hasn't really been applied successfully to the business, except maybe very, very early on. Now let's look at a similar business, but one that has applied succession leadership to their strategy right through the whole life cycle. So here is a business that starts off as a very similar business, but one where the owner has applied succession leadership right through their whole life cycle. So again, the business starts off as relatively successful at the beginning. And again, like the other business, the first thing he does is appoints an admin. However, this business owner understands a little bit more around strategy and not just getting caught in the operational side of the business. So as the business grows and gets to the 800, about maybe the 800k mark, where the other business started to level off, this business then appoints a 2IC to help delegate some of the leadership. And by doing that, immediately the business owner starts to focus a little bit more on strategy and allows the 2IC to focus a little bit more on the operational side. So again, this helps the business grow and helps, during that growth, helps the process of managing more staff. And at some stage, maybe where it gets to around 1.5 million, he might appoint a second admin, and then he will form a leadership team, because the 2IC now needs some leadership behind him as well to continue to allow the business to grow. And this is a process that will carry on right through. Each process will allow the opportunity for the business to grow a little bit more, and allow the business owner to focus more on growth, customers, in general, just a little bit more on strategy. Gets towards 3 million turnover, the business appoints an operations manager, a senior admin person. And then as it gets towards 5 million, the business owner might appoint a GM. By this stage, he may be doing a lot less hours in the business. Eventually, he may appoint a CFO. And then in the same time period, he then decides he'll put the business on the market, and he might decide to exit. Or he may decide to exit but not sell the business and use it as an income stream. So by that stage, the owner's working maybe 10 hours in the business. He has a GM, he has 3 senior managers, team leaders, 1 CFO, 2 admin staff, and 20 general staff. And the revenue per employee at the sale time or at the time of exit is around 260,000, so significantly more than the first example. And this is just one example of where a succession plan business can really grow significantly compared to a business that does not do this. So what are the key takeaways from this? Well, the key takeaway is what I said at the beginning. It really comes down to profit growth, value, and time. And if a business owner can always think of those 3 things, then by the time he comes to wanting to exit the business, he'll have a lot more successful business and a lot more valuable business. And it's amazing to see the businesses that I've worked with over the years, as they've got bigger, the business owner's actual lifestyle has got better in regards to time spent in the business and more free time. And that can only be a good thing.
In today's quick podcast, we delved into why succession leadership is such an important aspect for every business owner to consider, no matter where they are in their growth life cycle. Thanks again to BSP Advisory Group, the experts in succession leadership, and SBNZ. Join us again for our next Quick Wins podcast.